You're born in a wagon tent. Not a house, not a village. Just a wagon, rolling across the open plains of Scythia. The wind never really stops out here. Neither does the movement. You're a boy, and unfortunately, you're beautiful. Which sounds nice until you realize you're also poor and not Greek. Yeah, that combination is going to ruin your life. Your people are nomads. They don't farm the land, they follow it. Where the sheep go, you go. Where the goats and cattle graze, the wagons follow behind. One massive moving herd stretching across the plains. Food is never guaranteed, but your people know animals better than anyone. Your diet is mostly meat, milk, and whatever they can hunt. Deer, rabbit, even eagles and wolves sometimes. But mostly, it's a lot of milk. Your mother's milk, sheep milk, goat milk, and horse milk, whether you like it or not. You drink it constantly. When you're 5, you spend most of your time with your mother in the wagon. She practices archery, men's clothing, and watches the herds from a distance. Sometimes, your father lifts you onto a horse and lets you ride with the men. They practice archery while moving, shooting from horseback like it's nothing. One afternoon, your tribe settles near a river. The wagons form a loose circle. Fires are lit using dried animal dung. Another strange smell fills the air. First, fermented horse milk, sharp and sour. Second, a thick, earthy smoke as herbs are burned nearby. It's safe to say your people definitely know how to party. While the adults drink and sing, the children play nearby. But you stay close to your mother. The other boys notice things. Your face is softer than theirs. Your hair is braided neatly at your shoulders. You don't wrestle as hard. They laugh. Your father doesn't. He looks at you for a long moment. He doesn't say anything, just disappointed. And even though you don't understand why yet, something inside you already knows. Out here, softness is dangerous. You don't see it coming. That's the first thing you remember about the day everything ends. The morning starts like every other one. Smoke from dung fires drifting low across the grass. You and your mother are sleeping. The men are farther out, watching the herd. Out of nowhere, shouting erupts and horses stampede into your village. Not your tribe's horses. These ones move fast. They were taller and leaner. You didn't know what was going on, but you knew these men rode horses to take, not to live. Men shout, but not in your language. Some people fight. They don't last long. Others run. They don't get far. Your father is nowhere to be seen. You and your mother jump out of the wagon, but there's nowhere to run. The land is flat and treeless. You're grabbed from behind before you even know which direction to flee. You kick. It does nothing. You see your mother. She's screaming your name, pushing toward you. Then, she's pulled back by multiple men. That's the last time you ever see her. They don't hurt you. That's important. Children are valuable. Your wrists are tied. So are the other children. Some are crying. Some are silent. You learn very quickly which one hurts less. You march for hours. No wagons, no fires, no time to stop. Just walking. That night, you're fed just enough to keep moving. When you see a bug, you grab it quickly and shove it in your mouth before anyone sees. You swear you'll stay alive. And one day, you'll get revenge. The men talk around the fire. Different accents, different words. You catch a few familiar words, maybe a dialect close to yours. You don't understand what they're saying, but you understand the tone. They're negotiating. Over the next few days, the group gets smaller. Some of the kids disappear at night. Others get added. You don't know where you're going. You only know you're moving south, toward the coast. Eventually, you smell the sea. You've never smelled anything like it before. Salt, rot, something metallic. That's when you see the ship. It was your first time seeing a structure that big. But this isn't the time for sightseeing. You're pushed down into the hull. Chains clink, wood creaks, the light disappears. Everyone sits in complete darkness. Above you, men pull the oars. You can hear them grunting, shouting, counting the rhythm. Below you, you sit in the dark. And just like that, your nomadic life on the plains of Scythia is over. You're not sure how many nights go by. No stars, no way to tell time. The ship moves constantly, rocking back and forth. It almost reminds you of your tiny wagon back on the plains. Almost. Cold water sloshes across the floor. Not enough to drown, just enough to soak your feet. Nothing ever dries. Every now and then, someone near you gets seasick. And when that happens, well, it stays down here with all of you. So do the buckets meant to be used as toilets. They're supposed to be emptied. They aren't. They overflow. Food comes down every few days. Hard bread is tossed in your direction. You grab it quickly, not because you're hungry, but because if you don't, someone else will. You get one sip. The water tastes like rusty metal. The smell becomes everything. After a while, you don't even notice it anymore. Sometimes someone above opens a hatch. Light spills in, blinding and brief. Something or someone is carried out. You tell yourself they must be badly hurt. They're never brought back. The ship slams into the dock. Voices shout from above. Light pours into the hull for the first time in days, and it burns your eyes. Someone yanks you upright. Your legs don't work right anymore. They shake. You stumble. You're dragged up onto the deck. The air smells different here. Not grass, not animals. Oil, fish, smoke. Too many people packed too close together. You hear shouting everywhere. Fast, sharp words you don't understand. This isn't the plains. This is a port. You're herded off the ship with the others. Some kids are older than you, some younger. All of you look the same now. Dirty, thin, quiet. Anyone who cried on the ship already learned not to. Men wait at the dock. Not soldiers, not raiders. These men wear clean clothes, sandals, cloaks, gold rings around their fingers. They almost look kind. Except they're smiling. That's worse. You're marched through narrow streets, stone everywhere, walls too close. People stare at you like you're something strange or useful. You don't know which yet. Eventually, you're brought to an open square. It's loud, crowded, and full of people pretending not to stare. This is the market. Not for food, for you. Stripped down, no explanation. Just hands pulling, cutting away whatever you're wearing. Cold air hits your skin. You try to cover yourself. Someone slaps your hands away. Your eyes start to water. You're lined up, shoulder to shoulder. A man walks down the line slowly. He lifts chins, turns faces side to side, presses fingers into arms and legs, checking, judging. You realize something terrible very quickly. They're calculating value. A hand tilts your face toward the light. Someone squints. He studies you. Another voice says something you finally understand. Pretty. A man in a white robe steps forward. He's older, clean-shaven. He inspects you with the same cold assessment as the others, but his touch is gentler. Numbers are shouted, hands raise, people nod, coins clink. You don't understand how bidding works, but you understand when it's over. The same man grabs your arm and wraps you in a robe. You're pulled out of the line. The rest fade into the background. For a second, you wonder if that's good. Your new master leads you through the streets of Athens. The city is loud, merchants shouting, children laughing, philosophers debating in the shade. He hands you a sweet roll. You've never seen bread without green chunks in it. You devour it, and for a moment, you forget everything else that's happened. The house you're taken to is large. Marble floors, painted walls, a courtyard with water trickling gently in the center. You've never seen anything like it. You've also never felt smaller. The master hands you off to the head servant at the doorway and walks away. An older Greek man stands waiting. He barely looks at you. Then he sighs. "Filthy barbarian," he says. "You'll be bathed, fed, dressed." He pauses. "And trained." That night, they scrub you until your skin is raw. Oil, water. Your hair is cut, your nails trimmed. They dress you in a soft tunic. Too soft. You barely recognize yourself when you catch your reflection in polished bronze. You don't look like a nomad anymore. You don't look like yourself. You look valuable. The next morning, the head servant leads you to the master's chambers. The master finally speaks to you. His name is Alexander, a citizen, a philosopher, a man who throws lavish parties for other men just like him. He tells you that you're lucky. Lucky to be in his house. Lucky to serve a man of culture and learning. You won't be trained for the fields, he explains, but for something higher. You'll learn Greek, music, how to pour wine without spilling a single drop. "You are not like the others," he says, resting a hand on your shoulder. "You have potential." You nod. He smiles. It's the smile of a man who's just bought a very expensive vase. Training starts the next day. Another servant is assigned to you. He's Persian, mid-aged, and tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. His back is slightly bent. His hands move automatically, like they've done this 1,000 times already. He shows you the ropes. How to stand, how to bow, how to pour wine without letting the jug touch the cup, how to smile when spoken to, and how to disappear when you're not needed. He corrects you without anger, just habit. "Never speak unless asked," he says. "Never look them in the eye, and never, ever say no." You ask him why. His lifeless eyes look at you for a long moment. Then he turns away. "You'll learn." Days pass as you learn Greek faster than you thought possible, not because you want to, but because survival depends on it. You learn their words, their customs, their gods. Then, one day, he's gone. No warning, no explanation. His mat is empty, his cup is gone. You don't ask where he went. In this house, questions are dangerous. He had become something like an older brother to you, kinder than the head servant, less eager to remind you that you were a barbarian, that you were not Greek. One night, the head servant tells you it's time. "Bathe yourself," he says. "I'll return to retrieve you." He turns away. He doesn't look back when he speaks. "Listen carefully," he says. "In this house, you survive by being quiet and by being useful." He pauses. "Serve him well and don't make a fuss. The door closes. The head servant returns. You follow him through the house. Your feet make no sound on the marble. You pass rooms you're not meant to enter, doors that stay closed. He stops outside a set of doors, places a hand on your shoulder, and walks away. You open the doors and walk in. Your master is inside, seated, relaxed. He looks up when you enter. A smile reaches his face. "Come closer," he says. You do. "You've been trained well," he says. You nod. "You'll stay here tonight," he continues. "You'll attend my gatherings from now on. You belong to my quarters." You smile and nod. You remember the instructions, and you obey. After, you realize the worst part. It didn't happen all at once. It happened piece by piece. A little less you every time. When it's over, Alexander rises as if nothing happened. He leaves you where you are. Servants bring you a plate full of sweet rolls. Your stomach turns. You let them go cold. Nothing appears broken, but you are no longer who you were when you entered. You don't return to the servants' quarters that night. Your place has changed. Where you sleep, where you stand, how others look at you. The next morning, the older servant won't meet your eyes, because you are no longer just a servant. You have the master's ear. You'll soon find out who has the other one. Time goes by. You're a young man now. You've grown taller, and you're still beautiful. At least, that's what they tell you. Music, pouring wine, singing when asked. You know how to stand, how to smile, how to disappear. You believe your place is safe. Then, one day, Alexander brings someone home. A boy. He's Persian, much younger than you, holding a sweet roll in both hands like it might vanish. Alexander introduces him to the household with the same gentle smile he once gave you. "This is Darius," he says. "He will be trained as well." Your stomach twists because you recognize the look. It's the same way Alexander used to look at you. You try to be kind to him. You teach him Greek, show him how to pour wine, how to stand, how to smile. You don't tell him what comes next. One night, after a particularly long gathering, Alexander calls you to his private chamber. "You've served me well," he says. "Better than I expected." You nod, unsure where this is going. "I've been thinking," he continues. "When you reach your 20th year, I will free you." Your heart stops. "You may stay here," he adds. "Not as a servant, but as a companion." He pauses. "As a friend." The years that follow are the best of your life. You're still a servant, technically, but the promise of freedom changes everything. You're allowed to read scrolls, to study philosophy. You walk through the city with a little more dignity. Alexander stops visiting your quarters, until one day, he invites you to host a private family gathering. Normally, you entertain philosophers, men with similar tastes. This time is different. Alexander meets you in the courtyard. He looks pleased. Then, you notice it. A faint tension in his posture. Almost nervous. That's new. "Today," he says, "you will help receive my family." The word family hits you hard. You don't react. For a moment, you smell the plains again. Grass, dung smoke, horse sweat. And then it's gone. The gate opens. A woman steps through first. Greek, well-dressed. Not beautiful, but composed. She moves like someone who's never had to learn where she belongs. "My wife," Alexander says. She inclines her head toward you. Polite. Her eyes don't linger. They don't need to. Behind her comes their daughter, 18. Her gaze is sharper than her mother's. She notices you noticing her. Then she looks away. Last comes the boy, 8 years old. He runs ahead without permission, laughing, dragging a wooden toy across the stone. Alexander smiles at him. It's a smile you've never seen directed at you. "Father," the daughter says, touching his arm. You step back instinctively and become a shadow. You pour wine, serve food, stand exactly where you're told. "Who is he?" the boy asks, pointing at you. Alexander answers without hesitation. "A member of the household." Nothing more. The wife thanks you. Her voice is calm. The days after their arrival, the house settles into a new routine. You're still needed, but not where you were before. You stand farther from Alexander now. It's the daughter who breaks the pattern. One afternoon, you're adjusting a lamp in the courtyard when she stops nearby. "You read?" she asks. You freeze for half a breath, then nod. She glances toward the house to make sure no one is listening. "Greek?" she asks. You nod again. That seems to surprise her. "My tutor says I ask too many questions," she says. "He says philosophy isn't meant for women." You answer carefully, a line from a legendary Greek poet. She listens, not like a guest, not like her father, like someone actually interested in you. After that happens, it happens again and again. Short exchanges, quiet ones, always in passing, never lingering. She asks about the city, about the men who argue for hours on virtue, love, and the roles of dominant and submissive. You let her know your thoughts and ideas, but never enough to invite trouble. One day, she says something that surprises you. "I envy you." You laugh. The first time in years. "You've heard the debates," she continues. "You've walked places I'm never allowed to enter." She pauses and looks down. "I'll be married by winter." She says it like a fact, like there's no other option. You don't respond. Silence feels safer. From then on, there's an understanding. She never speaks to you in front of others, and you never initiate the conversations. After all, you were trained not to. Sometimes she leaves a scroll open on the bench, notes for you near the edge. You'll answer in small letters. For the first time in years, someone sees you as more than a role. This feeling feels good. One morning, you notice what's missing before anyone tells you. Her bench in the courtyard is empty. No scroll, no letters, just clean stone. At breakfast, her place is gone. Not moved, removed. The table looks smaller without her. No one announces anything. No farewells, no explanations. You hear it later from a servant who doesn't realize you're listening. "She left before sunrise. Married well, far from the city." That's all. You wait for a message. You hope to see her appear in the hallways. Something, anything. Nothing comes. That afternoon, the master sends for you. Not to his chambers, but to the study room. He doesn't sit when you enter. He remains standing, hands folded behind his back. "You've served the household well," he says. "Circumstances have changed." He doesn't mention the promise. He doesn't need to. With my family now settled, certain arrangements are no longer appropriate. You'll be placed elsewhere, he says. A respectable household, suitable work. He meets your eyes for the first time in days. This is for the best. You nod. That's what you've been trained to do. That night, you were moved back into the servants' quarters. The next morning, someone else pours the wine. You recognize his hands, younger, still hopeful. He stands where you once stood. He smiles the way you used to smile. No one introduces him. They never did with you either. As you leave the courtyard for the last time, you glance once toward the bench. It's still empty, clean, as if nothing ever happened there at all. Time keeps moving. It always does. The new house is smaller. You're still useful, still trained, still careful. But no one looks at you the way they once did. Your face starts to look older. Your voice deepens. The softness fades. And people notice. One day, you notice something familiar. A new servant arrives. Young, foreign, standing too straight, trying too hard not to be noticed. You recognize the posture immediately. You wore it once. You're asked to show him the rules, how to stand, where to look, when to speak. You teach him the same things that were taught to you. Not because you want to, because this is how survival works. He asks you one question. Does it get easier? You don't answer. There's no instruction for that. You are moved again and again. No one ever strikes you. No one ever raises their voices. They don't have to. You were good at what you did. One afternoon, you catch your reflection in a bowl of water. Older now, ordinary, unremarkable. You think of the courtyard, the bench, the little notes written near the edge. You wonder if she ever thinks of them. Then you stop, because that life was never yours to remember. You live long enough to be forgotten. That's the final mercy. And somewhere in the city, Alexander's son grows up. He inherits the name, the house, the future. Someone else pours the wine now. Someone else stands where you once stood. Someone else believes, just for a while, that their position is safe. And if anyone else tells your story, it won't sound tragic. They'll say you did well for a barbarian. Because history doesn't record what happens to people like you, only that you were useful until you weren't. If you think this was bad, there are others who had it worse. Their story is next.